What's good, y'all? It's Crisco Fontaine. Appreciate you for pulling up to the stream. I really do appreciate it. I really do from the bottom of my heart. I'm about to get it started shortly, but hey, real quick, if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, por favor. And then hit that bell right next to it so that you get notifications when I upload things of that nature. If you get any fulfillment, get any entertainment value whatsoever from this stream tonight, today, and whenever I'm streaming, hit the like button. And if you don't rock with it, you can hit the dislike button too. It's cool. It helps the channel either way, man. Okay. So feel free to comment, chat. I'll try to be as interactive as possible. Once again, I do appreciate you for tuning in to the stream. And if you've already subscribed to the channel, thank you. I love you from the bottom of my heart. Whatever is in there, I love you. Let's get into the stream. Let's get into the stream. Let's get into the stream. Am I muted? Am I muted? I'm not muted. Welcome back to the stream. My name is Crisco Fontaine, aka Coach Crisco. You see the title. It's lit. Yo, people getting shipped left and right, man. This has been a very, very, very active trade deadline. The deadline is tomorrow night. No, tomorrow, not night. Tomorrow night. I think it's tomorrow at like 12 p.m. actually. So everybody that has been pegged to be moved, am I focused? Everybody that's been pegged to be moved is the trickle down is starting to happen. Shams broke a few hours ago, I think. The Jimmy Butler saga is depending on how you look at it, it's ended or it's just begun. Because Mr. Butler was he was dealt to the Golden State Warriors. I did a video a little while ago, matter of fact, about a month ago, on potential trade destinations for Jimmy, and Golden State was one of them. It was an article that I read on Hoops Hype. And Golden State was one of them. And I said that I thought that he could be a pretty decent fit with Golden State. So let me pull this up real quick. Got my little stream deck in here, so it makes it a little bit easier for me to, kind of maneuver. So the particulars of the deal goes as such. The Jimmy Butler trade is now a 4-team deal with the Utah Jazz, and the Toronto Raptors now included. So I don't understand. I don't know exactly how is it the Pistons? So is it the Pistons or is it the Raptors? I don't know if this is type up. This is Yahoo Sports, so I'm not sure if it's indeed the Raptors or the Pistons. But I guess that's neither here nor there. That's peons anyway. I'll put some respect on their names. It's not really peons. But regardless. So the Warriors get Butler, and the Heat, they're going to get Andrew Wiggins. And, I'm bittersweet because I like the Golden State Warriors. I like Steph. So I'm, Wiggins was a key part of that 22 championship. So, to see him go it's tough. And, some can argue that maybe Wiggins is the better player in 2025. I don't know if I'd make that argument. He's definitely younger. But, you get a chance to get a guy that is proven that he can put a team on his back and will a team that probably shouldn't even sniff a finals to a finals, not once, but twice. You might have to deal Wiggins for a guy like that if he can come in and have that same mentality. So the Heat get him. They get PJ from Utah, I believe. Kyle Anderson also from the Warriors, and a protected first round pick. I'm not sure who that pick is from. So either the Pistons or the Raptors. I don't know exactly which team it is. They get Lindy Waters III from Golden State, Josh Richardson from the Heat, if I'm not mistaken, and a second round pick, and I don't know who that pick is from also. And then Utah gets Dennis Schroeder. And I I suspect that Schroeder is probably gonna get bought out, and he might wind up on another roster. I don't think that he's gonna um, stay in Utah. I just don't see it. But I gotta shed some layers. It's warm in here. Initial thoughts. It's a good thing Golden State was able to hold on to Kuminga. Does this move the needle for Golden State? I don't think Butler alone. You lose Wiggins, you lose Dennis Schroeder, which you only had him for, what? Not even a month, maybe. So they basically made the move to trade Melton to get him, to use him as draft bait, basically. I mean, trade bait. But you still have Pajimski. So I don't know. They coveted Pajimski really tough. They're gonna have to show me more. He's young, yeah, second year, yes, but Dennis Schroeder he's a defender. He can make plays, he can handle the ball. Definitely be a backup point guard to Steph if you would have moved off of Pajimski instead. I don't know, maybe the Heat didn't want him. Or I guess the Jazz had to get involved, so they had to give somebody up just to make the money work, I suppose. But what this does is this is intriguing, because now I'm wondering what Golden State's starting lineup is going to look like. I'm not gang affiliated. I like the Pittsburgh Pirates. I don't want anybody to think that I'm gang affiliated. Does Jimmy play the 2? Do you move Kuminga to the 2? Because when Kuminga comes back, you can't continue to bring him off the bench, Steve Kerr. So how do you rock that? If you went small, and I guess you start. Let me pull up their roster real quick, because I'm just curious as to. Let's see. With the addition of Jimmy, let me see if they have updated rosters. No, not yet. I'm glad that they held on to GP2, because every trade scenario that I saw had GP2 involved and Looney, and I just didn't understand why you would trade somebody that I'm a defensive guy, so I don't trade away defense that easily. So let me just look at I forgot they still have Buddy. Buddy can come off the bench though, because he hadn't really been doing shit anyways. So, give me 1 second. One second. Give me 1 second. You better focus. Okay. So I suspect Moses Moody is gonna get more playing time. And they still can make another deal. I don't know. I think somebody I'm eager to see when I'll get to the next deal that happened. I think it was earlier today with between the Wizards and the Bucks. But I'm eager to see what the Wizards are going to do with Middleton. But I'll get onto that, because that could very well be a place for him, Golden State, if he's bought out. But I I don't know what a starting lineup would look like. Steph at the 1. I guess if you went big, you could go Steph at the 1, Kuminga at the 2. Kuminga. Or you can go Steph at the 1, Jimmy at the 2, Kuminga at the 3, Draymond at the 4, and Trace or Looney at the 5. I don't know if that's a needle mover. I don't. And the crazy thing about it is, let me see. Crazy thing about it is they was trying so hard to get KD to come back. KD didn't have no desire to double back. None. Mans did not want to come back. And to be completely honest with you, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. From his legacy standpoint, I would do nothing for him. It would do nothing for him. But at the same time, he probably should have went back. He probably should have went back. I mean, I'm, you know, shit. Let me see. I'll play this video real quick. So KD had no interest in returning to the Warriors, and you know, let's just play the video. I seen this earlier, but
Shams Charania, our senior insider, is here alongside us now. Shams, where does all of this stand between the Suns, the Warriors, and Kevin Durant?
Malika, the Warriors have been seriously pursuing Kevin Durant over the last week, but sources tell me that Durant has no desire in a reunion with the Warriors. He does not want to go back to the Warriors, where he won 2 championships, won 2 finals MVPs. The Suns' position in all of this has been to continue to build.
So it didn't really make sense to me anyways for them, for Golden State to be in the mix. Well, not necessarily for Golden State to be in the mix, but for KD to want to go. Now, I'm not sure if KD has a no trade clause. I think most of the big stars have no trade clauses, which is crazy. But I'm just trying to figure out who Golden State would have given up, because the deal would not have looked like the deal looked for Jimmy. You're not just giving up Schroeder and Wiggins and Lindy Waters for KD. You're gonna have to give up Kuminga and Wiggins. You might have to give up Kuminga and Wiggins. But I saw some articles that said that Phoenix, if they were to deal KD back to the Warriors, they were interested in Draymond. So I wonder if that was vetoed by Golden State or Steph or somebody. Maybe they said, no, we're not going to deal Draymond. And the fact that they weren't going to deal Draymond was the deciding factor as far as KD not wanting to go back. Because I think if Draymond wasn't there, I think if they would have got off of Draymond, KD probably never would have left. So, I mean, if there was no Draymond, Jordan Poole would still be there. So, Draymond's like the Grinch. It's like the freaking Grinch. But I applaud KD for not going back. Now, so what does Phoenix do now? Let's continue this
around Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, but due to their record, teams have been very aggressive calling the Suns. It's unclear where these talks go between now and tomorrow's deadline, but one.
See, the Suns are fucked because they have Bill in that contract that nobody wants. That's what's really messing them, because they want to get off of that. But no, I mean, the only person that they can legitimately deal, I'm assuming KD has no trade clause. I mean, he has no trade clause, because otherwise they would be actively shipping Bill around. But he has a trade clause, no trade clause rather. So you can't just say, okay, well, we're gonna ship your ass to the Raptors. We want Scotty. No, I'm not going to Toronto. I don't like Drake. I'm a Kendrick guy. He can just pretty much veto anybody, so you can't just actively ship. And then he's getting like 50, something crazy, $50 million a year. So you can't just actively ship him. They wanted to change, and Booker is probably the only untouchable. Dyslexia. Untouchable. Booker is probably the only untouchable person on the roster, so that leaves KD. Now, do they still try to deal KD before the deadline? And if you do, who do you get that would help the squad? Now, I think Phoenix is kind of stuck with what they got. I think Phoenix is kind of stuck with what they got. I don't think that there's too much of anything that they can do as far as a move that would change their roster drastically. They almost failed. I mean, I just don't. And to be completely honest with you, I never thought that the Bill deal was going to work for them anyway. Just there's one ball, and you got three guys that needs the ball. You only have one ball, not two like normal, humans, normal men, anyways. But one ball when it comes to basketball, and it can only be shot at once, one at a time. You can only shoot one jump shot at a time. So you have a ball dominant Bill, ball dominant Durant, ball dominant Booker. Well, Durant is not as ball dominant, but Bill and Booker, they need the ball. So, and no true point guard. So I mean, I didn't really think that was going to work for them. And now they're stuck. So I don't know. Now, what will be an interesting place for Kevin Durant, and I'm sure it's probably not even possible. And I don't even think it's been talked about, and maybe it has. But as a fellow resident of the DFW area, and not necessarily a Mavericks fan, but kind of a slight connoisseur, I wouldn't be opposed if KD came to Dallas. I wouldn't hate it. Now, I don't know what kind of package Dallas could put together for KD. Yeah, this is just for gets and shiggles. If KD was hell bent on leaving Phoenix, because I'm assuming that KD really was pushing for Jimmy Butler and wanting to play with Jimmy, but Miami had no interest in Bill. So when that kind of fell through, it was like, okay, there's no other way for Butler to go to Phoenix unless you deal KD, and then that defeats the purpose. So what other way for KD to leave Phoenix and go somewhere where he could fit than to go and play with the guy that he went to Brooklyn to play with? Now, I don't know if you can put a package together with like centering Clay and maybe PJ Washington, and one of the bigs, Gafford or Lively, and a pick or two. I mean, I don't know how all that works. I'm not an NBA GM. I'm just a peon live streaming on YouTube. And if you're watching the live stream right now, and hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, por favor. It's free, and like it's right there. Like I'm looking at it right here on my tablet, and I see the subscribe button because I'm not logged in on my tablet. It's right there. It's like right next to my name. It takes no effort to hit the subscribe button. Like you ain't even gotta pay it. It's crazy. You should hit the subscribe button. I'm not even gonna ask for a like. You can give me a like if you want, but it's all good. I just hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. But no, I just oh, you a Heat fan. So you know what? I don't really think that y'all got better or worse. To be honest. Wiggins is gonna fit right in. You know what I mean? He kind of plays like Jimmy. So I don't think that y'all got better or worse. Y'all got younger. So anything, as a matter of fact. Let's see what was it? So y'all got Wiggins, PJ Tucker, Cal Anderson, and a protected first round pick. That first round pick, don't tell me what year it is. This is Yahoo Sports. I need a more detailed breakdown. I don't know what year that pick is for. But I mean, Cal Anderson is a solid basketball player. PJ Tucker is my age. So he's old. But, I mean, I guess he could still play basketball. I'm assuming. I mean, I don't know. He can play defense. Yeah, I know you did. See, so I'm happy that Golden State was able to hold on to Kuminga because, like I stated in video that I did a while ago, maybe a month ago, about the trade destinations for Jimmy, and I said Golden State would be a good place for him. But if they had to trade somebody, then trade Wiggins and try to hold on to Kuminga just because you want Kuminga to be the next in line. If they really see what they think they see in Kuminga, then you want to hold on to him because he is what you want to potentially build around once Steph, once Draymond, once Jimmy, they're out the picture. Now you still have Kuminga, the young guys, Moody, Podziemski, Jackson Davis, still have the young guys. So I'm happy for them that they were able to hold on to Kuminga. I'm interested to see what their starting lineup is going to look like because you can't continue to bring Kuminga off the bench. He's proven that he's a starter. He can give you 30. So you got a guy that can give you 30, 20, 25 consistently. If you give him the ball, get him acclimated, get him inputted into the offense. At this point, whatever your offense is, it's a lot of motion, a lot of back cuts, a lot of pin downs. This is gonna sound a little strange, but Steph Curry should be the third option right here. It should go Kuminga, Jimmy, Steph, because Steph is gonna get his regardless. He's gonna draw attention from the defenders. I mean, they're gonna look to double, so that should give Kuminga a chance to eat. That should give Jimmy a chance to eat. This should be the easiest basketball that Jimmy Butler has played in his career, outside of maybe playing with Derrick Rose early in his career before he was really Jimmy, and maybe the 1 year in Philly with Embiid. This should be the easiest basketball he played. They're about to screw Kuminga up if they don't start the transition in terms of getting him more involved in the offense. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Like Kuminga, when he comes back from his injury, Kuminga should be the number one option. I know that's maybe that's far fetched, maybe that's a little crazy, but Kuminga should be the number one option. Oh snap! I didn't even see this part right here. So apparently, let me full screen it. So before or shortly after, shortly after the trade, Jimmy agreed to a 2-year, $121 million extension with the Warriors. So I know that was what he's declining. Okay. I know they were saying that he was not interested in signing an extension with them. And he could have opted into, I think, like $50 million next season. But now he's signing the extension. So the extension this season and then extended out 2 seasons after that. And I want to say that coincides with Steph, if I'm not mistaken. I know it does Draymond. I think Steph and Draymond are kind of along the lines of right at the same amount of years. So I think Butler these 2 years outside of this season. So he signed until 27, 25, 26, 26, 27. I want to say that's when Steph is up too. So that's interesting. Because everything that I read was saying that Jimmy wasn't interested in signing an extension with Golden State if he was traded there. So that tells me that it was never about money. He truly, it was more about getting his way. Yeah, well, we kind of already know what kind of person Jimmy Butler is. So I'm hoping that I'm curious as to I'm curious to how the dynamic between Jimmy and Draymond is gonna be. And they had to trade Wiggins if they was gonna get Butler, because I'm thinking that Wiggins was one of those guys that Butler was talking about when he was in Minnesota. so they couldn't play together. If it wasn't both Wiggins and Kuminga, if it was only the two of them, then they were going to have to trade Wiggins to get Butler, because I don't think Wiggins and Butler could play together. I know he was talking about Cat for sure. He don't like Cat, but I'm thinking that he might have been talking about Wiggs too. So, but that's what's up. That works. That works for both teams. Probably more so for Golden State, because they get a big name, another star to go alongside Steph. But it works for the Heat as well, because they move on from a guy that doesn't want to be there anymore, or didn't want to be there anymore. They get younger. They get a good wing in Wiggs. He's a great two-way player. He's proven that he can be a really great basketball player. Now, if he can tap back into that 22 version of Wiggs, now that he's it's a new change of it's a change of scenery. Maybe he get down to South Beach and see some nice scenery down there. You know what I mean? And all I can say is he's not gonna get laid out like Poole. Draymond. Also, thoughts on Kuminga? Yeah, I'm gonna touch on that next. I'd pay to see that though. I'd pay to see that, because I'm not sure if Jimmy is really about that life. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy got into it with who was that? It was that dude that I want. Damn, I gotta look it up real quick. I think it was that dude that went off in the bubble, and we hadn't heard from him since. Like he was hooping like Jordan in the bubble. Damn, what was his name? Oh my God. Who did he play with? TJ Warren. Yeah, TJ Warren. That's what it was. Let me see if I can find a video and pull it up. I don't think Jimmy really about that life, honestly. I think he be selling wolf tickets because he got that look. And if anybody like me, if you like me, and don't take this the wrong way, but if you like me, I don't fight anybody that's darker than me. I don't fight dark skinned dudes. I just don't. Because it don't matter how much damage I do, you ain't gonna really see it on them. They can dot me up a couple times and you're gonna see the bruises and everything. And I could have put pause in their life. And, everybody just think I got my ass kicked. So, I'm not doing all that. He'll definitely be selling coffee during the fight. It'd be at the very least $20 coffee, man. Dude's tripping.
Because you can't afford to let that go. And the officials will keep an eye on it.
And Jimmy Butler with all the smiles because the Heat have a 23-point lead. And that's on Butler.
See, and now he better watch. He just got technical and thrown out. They just threw him out. They just threw him out. Because T.J. Warren, what T.J. Warren did was he...
Blowing kisses. Blowing kisses. No, man, you going to have to swing. Listen, you playing with Draymond Green now, Jimmy. If you get into an altercation, you're going to have to swing. We've seen Draymond do some egregious things on the basketball court. We've seen him step on a dude. We've seen him backhand a dude. We've seen him put a dude in a chokehold, WWF style. We've seen all of these things. We've seen what happened to Poole and supposed to have been in privacy, but we've seen him sleep a dude. We've seen Draymond Green do some very egregious things. You can't be on the basketball court in the middle of an altercation blowing another man kisses. Come on now, James. We can't be doing that. He gonna get right. About a week or so with Draymond, he gonna get right. He gonna get right. Yeah. He gonna get right. I hadn't seen Jimmy Butler throw a punch yet. I mean, it don't even necessarily have to be like a full punch, just like a open hand slap. Because when they're on the basketball, see, this is one thing that I be knowing. When there's an altercation in an actual basketball game, it hadn't really been too many actual punches thrown. But that punch that Draymond threw to Jordan Poole in practice, so that wasn't an actual basketball game, and we weren't supposed to see that. So that means that some of these guys can actually throw a punch because he leaned into it. He put his body weight into that punch. He slept a young man. These dudes be out here fighting on the basketball court when there's an actual game. And they throw a punch. I just watched the Royal Rumble. When was that? Saturday, the other night? This past weekend. And like the punches that they throw in the WWE. That's kind of how they throw punches on the basketball court when there's an altercation in an NBA game. And I just be wondering, I'm like, I've never played in the NBA. Never will play in the NBA, but I've played my fair share of basketball, and I've been involved in or around my fair share of fights on the basketball court where punches were actually thrown, and none of us ever threw punches like that. We threw actual punches. Even the punches that we look at him, it's like, oh man, he got two-piece. Like they try to come at my boy Kobe when he got into it with Chris Child's punk ass. And Chris hit him, but he didn't even really hit him though. Like he hit him kind of like right here and here, but they was like soft. They was like beaky, beaky. Like they didn't have no effect, no nothing. And then he retreated. I just be trying to figure out when you become an NBA player, and I know there's a lot of money involved in, endorsements, and you got cameras and thousands of people in the vicinity watching you and things of that nature. I understand that. But do you just forget how to fight, or you just never knew how to fight? Or I have not seen now in the modern NBA, Because back in the day, I'm old, but I'm not that old. So before my time, like back in the 70s, they was throwing hands. Like they was actually getting slumped, and it was like just a regular ass tech. They kept playing. There was nobody got ejected or nothing. You just clean up the blood and play on. Like it's crazy. I don't know. Draymond may be a tough fake guy too. I don't know. I think Draymond crazy. I think Draymond. See Draymond. Let me show you why I think Draymond is crazy. I think he might be actually crazy. I'm gonna show you why. Let's see if I can put this up. Okay, this is why I think Draymond is actually like crazy. Whenever you see a guy that just be like sitting and he could just be, I mean, like he's stationary, like he just, you know what I'm saying? He's just chilling, and his mouth is just like, you may have went to school with some dudes that just always had their mouth open like that. Them some crazy niggas. They crazy. Stay away from them. You don't want to fight them. Like you see Dre, he be like this. He be like this right here. He be like this a lot. I think he actually got something. I watch his podcast, his show, Draymond Green show, and just kind of how he talk, and I wouldn't be surprised if Draymond at some point in time in his adolescent childhood, if he was on the short bus and he sat, across from where I don't know this from personal experience, but he sat across from where there's a big opening where they could fit the wheelchair. In other news, the Milwaukee Bucks, they moved off of Chris Middleton. They traded Chris Middleton to the Washington Wizards. The 8-41, something crazy like that. Washington Wizards for Kyle Kuzma. I'm looking for the particulars. I'm scrolling down. This is another one of those where I don't really know. Let me say, you don't catch it till you really think, but you're gonna only go after people who you know ain't built like that. Yeah. You might be right, because there was beef stew. They kind of got into a little bit of a tussle, and he backed off. He backed off a big beef stew. But he crazy too. Crazy is crazy until it meets crazy. So, you got to take that into account. Because I like to think that I'm crazy to an extent, but when I meet crazy, I'm not that crazy. I'm going to fall back. Like, gracefully. So, the Bucks acquired Kyle Kuzma for Chris Middleton in a 4-player deal. Let's see. So, Milwaukee is acquiring Kyle Kuzma. Let's see. Ouch. Wait a minute. This article is not. Who wrote this? That ain't even right. Going to Milwaukee with Kuzma or AJ Johnson. Is that even grammatically correct? I don't even think that's grammatically correct. But that's wrong. AJ Johnson is going to Washington from Milwaukee. Patrick Baldwin Jr. is going to Milwaukee with Kuzma. So AJ Johnson and Chris Middleton, Chris Middleton and AJ Johnson goes to Washington, and Kyle Kuzma and Patrick Baldwin Jr. goes to Milwaukee. I don't even know if those picks are right. Who wrote this? Ian Castleberry? You should be fired right now on the spot. I'm going to report this to your boss. In any event, I don't know if this moves the needle for the Bucks. Kuzma is averaging around 15 and a half points, I think, this season. Chris Middleton is working his way back from the ankle situation. And I want to say they was bringing him off the bench. He was averaging like 12 points off the bench since his return. He's had some pretty decent. That's why I just used. I know. I just go on Twitter or X. I'm sorry. Yeah, because this dude is a fool. But I don't know if this moves the needle for the Bucks. I'm just thinking. Kuzma has the ability to have some really good offensive outbursts. He's not horrible defensively. He's a big body. It gives Milwaukee a chance to really play big if they wanted to. I don't know. I just think that they're still feeling the effects of trading Drew. I think Drew Holiday was more important to Milwaukee than they really anticipated him to be. Even with Dame, I mean, you get the offense, but I don't know. Call me old school, but I think that defense is important and it wins championships. I just think that's what I think. And I mean, with Drew, it's not like you're not getting any offense from him. And I, for one, was not opposed to the Dame deal. And I thought Dame would be a good fit for Milwaukee before they made the trade. But my thoughts were, instead of dealing Drew at that time, maybe deal Chris Middleton for Dame, because I thought that Dame and Drew could play in the backcourt together. I mean, that's just me. I thought that they could have played in the backcourt together, and you dealing Chris Middleton, so you're basically trading offense for more offense. I mean, you got a little bit of defense from Chris Middleton. He can hold his own, but he's more of a scorer. Like, Chris Middleton is a solid scorer. Like, don't get it twisted. He's just been hurt. But if you remember, just last season, when Dame went down, when Giannis was hurt in that first round matchup, Chris Middleton was keeping him in some games. Like, he was hooping. You know, he just didn't have enough firepower. I mean, I think Dame eventually came back, but it was, but he was hooping. So when he's healthy, and let's not forget that 21 championship, Giannis was doing this thing for sure, but Chris Middleton was their closer. I don't know if Kyle Kuzma, I don't know if he could do what Chris Middleton could do for them when they were at their best. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm the Bucks. I'm doing what's in my power to get Bruce Bowen from the Raptors. Yeah, I said Bruce Bowen. Bruce Brown. Yeah, I mean, he'd be solid for them. Defense, he can shoot. what do they roster look like? What does their roster look like? Let me see real quick. Zoom in. Thank you very much. Yeah, I don't know. The Milwaukee Bucks. So they still got Pat Connaughton, AJ Green. Is AJ Green starting? Who are they starting? Oh, they starting Taurean Prince. So is it Dame, Gary Trent, okay, Taurean Prince. These are not updated rosters. They still have Chris on here. Oh, no, you don't. I need to pull up their depth chart. There we go. So, their depth chart looks as such. So they're starting Dame, Andre Jackson, Jr., Kyle Kuzma is projected to be in there. Giannis and Brooke. And then AJ Green is coming off the bench with Gary Trent, Taurean Prince, and Bobby. Yeah. I'm not sure if Kuzma moves the needle for them. I'm not sure. Because I mean now it's just basically you saying if you're Milwaukee, you're basically saying you're trying to get offense, but you can't. You really can't put too many eggs in the Middleton basket because you can't depend on him. Fortify that defense to protect Dame in the playoffs. See, I mean that's he's your main guy. I understand that Steph has been protected for most of his career defensively, but Steph gives effort. Dame is definitely not the worst person that I've ever seen play defense, but the effort is not there. It's hard to. Drew Holiday cleaned up a lot of Milwaukee's defensive mistakes, even mistakes that Giannis and Brooke would make. Drew cleaned up a lot of that. So them losing him, them losing Drew and his defense, I think, is more of a hindrance for them than gaining Dame and his offense. So I don't really know if it was worth losing the defense and I'm saying a little bit compared to Dame. Giving up Drew's defense and the offense that he brings compared to the offense that Dame brings, which is explosive, I think you're losing more with Drew because he gives you defense, like lockdown, one of the best on-ball defenders in the game. I would go as far as saying one of the best ever from the guard position. And he still gives you some offense. So that package rolled up in a ball, that's a bigger ball, pause, than Dame's offensive explosion because he lacks the defense. That's kind of how I look at it when I look at players. This is basketball. You kind of have to be able to play both sides. So if you can give explosive offense but no defense, but you can give lockdown defense and some offense, I'm going to take the guy that has the lockdown defense and some offense over just the offense by itself, even though if it's explosive, any day of the week, because we can manufacture some baskets. But if we got somebody that can stop these guys from scoring, then that really helps us not have to score as much. If you look at it that way, we don't need as much offensive explosion when we have guys that can stop the other guys on the other side. So I mean, that's kind of how I look at it. But I don't foresee this moving the needle for Milwaukee. I mean, they'll be by default in the top 4 or 5 in the East. But as configured, I don't think this Milwaukee team beats Boston. Just looking at the standings. Standings as it stand right now. Standings as it stand right now in the Eastern Conference. The Bucks sit 5th. Miami may or may not stay. They might fall. They might taper a little bit. Now, I mean, they have a guy now that will be there every night. Hopefully in Wiggins. So, I mean, they still might hover around that 6, 7, 8 spot. But the Bucks, Bucks Pacers, interchangeable. But I don't think that the Bucks right now are better than the Knicks. I don't think they're better than the Celtics. I don't think they're better than the Cavs. So 4 or 5 is pretty much their ceiling. I don't see them going up. Kuzma is not going to just catapult them to the top 3. I don't think. We could be seeing Giannis's last few years in Milwaukee. He's probably more so than not ready to move on to a bigger market. That's just me. I could be wrong. Again, I'm just a guy live streaming on YouTube. I am about to. Am I logged in on Twitter on this computer? I am. Interesting. So I'll be getting centled. I'll be getting centled like a mofo. I don't know if this is legit. Legion Hoops. I think it is. But Steve Kerr walked out of the locker room with his head down after speaking to the team. I don't know what that means. Maybe he's probably sad for trading Wiggins. Maybe he wanted to keep Wiggins. He may not have been for the trade. I'm curious now. I said move. I'm curious. I don't know. Yeah, I can't just scroll on on Twitter, not on my feed. Hell no. I'm curious. I don't know what that means. With his head down after addressing the team. That's interesting. We'll see how that dynamic works. Because I mean, now maybe he's frustrated because he knows he already has to deal with Draymond. Now I got another crazy ass nigga. Like this dude is. He probably went in there and told Dunleavy, "Hey man, we couldn't just like I don't know go for Brandon Ingram or somebody." Know about Jimmy, dog. Knowing NBA history, Bron gonna retire, then Giannis going to LA because the Lakers. You know who I wouldn't be surprised winds up in Los Angeles once LeBron is retired? Hear me out. Nikola Jokic. I said it here first. I don't know if anybody else has said it. I said it here first. Today is what? The 6th? I'm bugging. Today the 5th. The 5th of February, 2025. I said it here first. Inshallah. If I'm still around. I'd be eager to see. Whenever LeBron decides to retire, 2030, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Jokic winds up in LA. I don't know about Giannis though. I think Giannis is more of a New York, Miami type of guy. And I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow found his way in Golden State to play with Steph for his last few seasons, because I think he would much rather play with Steph than Luka. But he did make a comment about the Euros getting to big markets. So, he was kind of being facetious, being a little sarcastic, but there's a little bit of a truth, to every joke. So, but just hear me out. Nikola Jokic to the Lakers once Bron is out the way. The team with Luka, because I think they really want to play together, and they even kind of I want to say that Jokic has mentioned it before in the past. But he was like, well, Luka's going to have to come to Denver. Denver, Dallas, lost. What is he doing? Man, it scared the shit out of me. You juggling Denver or Dallas? Well, now Luka's in Los Angeles. I'm in the Dallas area. Dallas is nice. Never been to Denver, so I can't speak on it. But I'd imagine Los Angeles is way more sexier than either one of those D's. So I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, no, I don't see Giannis losing, and his definition of losing is not winning the championship. So he can get to the conference finals, NBA finals. If they lost, he lost. That's not a winning season. So he wants to win championships. I can only imagine him growing tired of being in cold ass Milwaukee. What do they even do in Milwaukee? They make beer, cheese. I can imagine him being up there and just like, if we're not winning, then I don't want to be here. If we're not winning, I gotta practice my accent. How did he talk with it? A lot of like he said, when he say Greek, he say Greek. If we're not winning, then I don't want to be here. I'll try it. So I can see him taking this Greek ass to a big market. He's very marketable. He has a marketable face. So, and what better way to market a big name star than to have him in a big market? Now, could you imagine Michael Jordan playing in Indiana, like for his entire career? Chicago is a big market, so they lucked up. He landed in the big market. Like how Kobe's career would have gone if he would have not been traded by Charlotte. Like what would have happened? You kind of need the big names to be in the big markets. I don't foresee Ja Morant playing his entire career in Memphis. I'm not even sure if Memphis is going to have a team in the next 5 years. You need those big names to be in big markets. So it's only a matter of time before it starts to shake out. Unfortunately, and I'm a fan of the small market teams. I am. I think small markets are needed. I think it's important for the NBA, not just for the big markets to be relevant, but for the small markets too, because otherwise, what's the point? You might as well just dumb down the league. You shouldn't have, what do they have, 30 teams? You shouldn't have 30 teams. You damn sure shouldn't be thinking about an expansion if you don't care about the small markets. Like, why does Utah have a team? If they're not going to be relevant, why the hell does Salt Lake City have a team? I could play for Utah right now. It make no sense. Let me see. Did I miss any trades? Oh, yeah. I didn't really talk about the De'Aaron Fox trade, but hashish. Look at this man. Look at this man right here. De'Aaron Fox is the first Spur to have a 20-point, 10-assist game in his debut. And apparently they won. Hey man, this is going to be a concoction of stars to we're going back to the duo, the dynamic duo. I'm glad we've tapered away from the what was the trio? What do they call it? Forgot what they call it. The super team trios and shit. I'm glad we got away from that. No more trios. The dynamic duos. I grew up on, Scotty and Michael, Kobe and Shaq. That's what I grew up on, duos. So De'Aaron Fox and Wemby moving forward, tough. So now we have De'Aaron Fox and Wemby. Do we say Luka and LeBron? You got Kyrie and AD. Now we have Steph and Jimmy. You got Dame and Giannis. You got in New York, Brunson and Cat. Boston, you got Brown and Tatum. Cleveland is a little unique. I'm not sure if you go Mitchell and Garland or Mitchell and Mobley. I don't know. They have more of a team dynamic. I like the duo. I like that. It fits more. I like it. But De'Aaron Fox that's the best move that the Spurs could have made. I think it fits it fits the direction that they need to go. And the fact that they didn't have to give up Castle. They didn't have to give up, what's the other kid's name? Vassell. They didn't have to give him up. Don't forget they still got CP3 too, the Spurs. The Spurs, actually, as a matter of fact, let me see what the standings look like in the Western Conference. So right now, full screen this. The Spurs hit 12th, 22 and 26. So Golden State is 10th. The Mavericks is 11th. Basically all right there in the same, a game, half a game apart. I look for Dallas to move up. I look for Golden State to move up. Didn't even really talk about Sacramento. I think they have a potential to that West is stacked though. OKC is still the team to beat. On paper though, man. As much as we Jonas Valanciunas to the Kings, another sideways move. Yeah. West is a nightmare, 10-13. Top 20 players all over there now. Yeah. Yeah, the Valanciunas, I thought that the Lakers was gonna maybe make a move for him because they need a big. I don't really know how that helps Sacramento. Do they play him and Sabonis together and move Sabonis to the 4? What are they going to do with that? Interesting to see how that plays out. I'm not sure how that, why make that move. But as much as we talk about Luka being traded by Dallas and how that affects Dallas, this is all dependent on if AD is healthy and he can remain healthy. Because health is key. That's with all of these teams. None of these trades matter if you can't stay healthy. If AD can stay healthy, they just made a trade also. Was it yesterday or today? My days are running together. Dallas. They traded Quentin Grimes to Philly for Caleb Martin. That's a solid move. Quentin Grimes he's good though. He's solid. He can shoot. But Caleb, maybe he gives you a little bit more on both sides. Dallas on paper though. If you got a starting lineup of Kyrie, Clay, PJ, AD, and Gafford, or Lively, whoever they start, I would assume maybe Gafford. That starting lineup is solid, dog. Kings may be one of the top 5 worst ran franchises in NBA history. Yeah, they had that one little spurt in the early 2000s when they had Weber and Divac and them, and they could have gotten to the finals. Probably should have gotten to the finals, but how that went. Dallas on paper, man, they solid. They solid. The Lakers are gonna be good for years to come. Luka's their future, but Dallas, yeah, they lost their franchise guy, but they didn't. I'm not gonna say that they just lost this trade. I can't say that unless AD just can't stay on the floor. But I can't say that they just lost this trade. I mean, we'll see how it all works out. I think AD and Kyrie, I think they're gonna mesh well together. Kyrie has stated in the past that he, had that he kind of wanted to play with AD. I think this was when he was in Boston. So there's some history there of them two wanting to play with each other. Pause. But we'll see how it goes. As long as AD, you never know. Change of scenery might help. AD might be as consistent as he's ever been in his career as far as staying on the floor and being healthy now that he's in a different situation. So a lot of that stuff, it could just be because he's in a situation that he may not be completely comfortable or maybe not even completely happy in. So I don't know. We shall see. I'm eager to see. Let me just quickly search before I get out of here and let you go. If anything else has transpired thus far. Oh, I wonder if Golden State added Dennis Schroeder to the trade because of his comments that he made about trade deadline, which is stupid. It's so fucking stupid. It is so stupid, man. To compare anything that involves the deals, business moves of millionaires to slavery. Man, Schroeder deserved every bit of black that's on his skin to be slapped off. Saying some dumb shit like that. Man, you are a millionaire. You talking about, well, trade deadline is like modern slavery. What? Shut up, man. Just be quiet. Just be quiet. Don't make no damn sense. Forgot Lively and like one other guy is hurt for the foreseeable future. On paper is great, but those injuries is not out of the realm. They missed the playoffs. Okay. We'll see how it all shakes out. Schroeder, like I said, in that deal, the Jimmy Butler deal, Schroeder goes to Utah. I imagine there's going to be a buyout. I don't think Schroeder is going to stay and even suit up for the Jazz. He will probably be bought out. I'm curious to see if the Wizards, what they're going to do with Middleton, because it makes no sense for them. They offloaded Kuzma and Valanciunas. It makes no sense for them to keep Middleton, 33 years old. You know, unless he just wants to play there because he's just trying to get his paper. He already got a ring, so there is a chance that maybe he's bought out, and you know, then there's a potential for Middleton to go somewhere, go to a contender, maybe the Lakers, maybe Golden State, maybe Dallas, maybe Phoenix. I don't know, somewhere that you know that would need some wing scoring. That he can just come off the bench and you know give them 10 to 12 points. So we'll see how the next, you know, not even 24 hours, I believe trade deadline ends tomorrow at noon. See if there's any more big name trades. See if KD is moved or if he's going to stay put in Phoenix. And then see if there's any surprises. You know, because if Luka Doncic can be traded out of the blue, and anybody can be traded. It's not even out of the realm that LeBron might find his ass traded in a package deal, including Bronny, of course. But I don't know. We shall see. But I appreciate you for pulling up to the stream. Any and everybody who pulled up to the stream, I do appreciate you. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button on your way out the door. Like the video if you like it. Dislike it if you don't. It's all good. See if there's anything else that I want to say. I don't think so. I'm about to go to sleep. See you on the next one.